Hello, everyone. My name is Yuta Jazz, and today we are going to do another pick a pile. This one's more for the mystics and healers and people that do practice spirituality quite heavily, have visions, have weird, like, psychic pains that come and go, that are deep into astrology, clearing, karma, family lineage stuff. Like in general, this is a reading for the people that live, breathe, and are basically in tune, with spirit and the lifestyle that pertains. So yeah, I guess that'll be the easiest way to describe it. If you aren't at all a practitioner, but maybe you are working towards that, right? You're still learning. You just got into spirituality. Maybe you want to become a healer of some sort. Or you have abilities and have had weird experiences, but you're not there yet, right? This might still have a message for you, but it might be that the message is going to pertain to your future, not necessarily your current present time. It might pertain to like more awareness, education in what it means to be a healer or a psychic or a mystic or what have you. So, yeah, if you are looking for a reading that's just about, life and the basic things, or maybe some trauma, some karma, some therapy, healing, maybe just talking about the circumstances you're going through. This is not the reading for that. If yeah, if you have, I guess, a mystic path, right, and you then have like questions that are pertaining to your personal human experiences, this can maybe then have some answers to some of the issues, but it is really kind of like outlined to people that practice energy, because there's a big shift happening on the planet. This one's kind of changing the game out for everyone. And there's a lot of people being called to the front of the line, if that makes sense. They're being called to a place where they need to lead or embody their truest, highest form of like frequency and energy to be a not necessarily just an example, but to set the tone of what I guess is coming up next. And there's a lot of issues happening on the micro for people with that as well. There is a lot of like weird experiences with lack of sleep, weird dreams, pains not really going away at all, illnesses popping up again, relationship situations and drama. Maybe there's even like a disconnection with spirit or spiritual matters being kind of like on override, way, happening way too much, way too fast, way too quick or something. So this is kind of to help with that. If you have been experiencing an odd time with your current circumstance, right, as a healer and a mystic and whatever, this is the reading for you. You can pick one of the four piles, and we're going to go ahead and start with pile number one. So yeah, see you over in the thingy. Hello, pile number one. If you're confused about the lighting change, I was using sunlight and out of nowhere a bunch of clouds came on. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So this is the card you chose. It is per worlds 59. This card always just speaks to higher realms to me, obviously in different ways, but higher realms, spirit, it can even pertain to the energy of source, God, or whatever you want to call it or believe in. And yeah, this is usually when there's some type of illumination being given or bestowed as well. This is the card that pops up when that's happening, but considering that it is reversed, the feeling I'm getting from it is kind of like and 444 on my recording clock. So I feel like I'm on point with this, where it's like I don't want no awareness or knowledge. Like I don't want this download. You can keep it to yourself. Just keep it away from me. Which is kind of funny because it is more or less like the image I'm getting is spirit giving some type of gift or present or something that has been long awaited and desired and like destined to some extent, right? But then it's kind of like something has flipped within the receiver or the person on which this was bestowed onto and is like, nah, I don't want it no more. Like I thought I was gonna get a different result. Like I thought the profit was gonna be different is how it's coming across. So that's kind of funny. I'm smiling so freaking much, and I haven't smiled like giving a message like this in a while. I can't stop smiling, which is hilarious. Yeah, I can't stop smiling. I don't know exactly why. We're gonna dig in with some tarot, but yeah, I guess like personally you could see it as there was something on the spiritual level, more of a spiritual personal level that you've been working on, and now that you've gotten to the point where you're receiving it, it's like there's something about the role or the feel or the vibe or the position, as it were, that isn't really suiting your expectations. And the way spirit's coming across with this is like it's not the expectations that like it's not that the thing hasn't met expectations that's the issue. It's more that you had the expectations that was the issue. So it's not what you are receiving that is the matter. That's not the problem. Your expectations need to be shifted and changed, or at least like I mean, completely cleared is also an option. But if you're not there yet, it's kind of like you can review and recycle whatever you have had expectations around, or why you had these expectations. That's the more important answer, why you've had these expectations and how they don't serve you, right? Like that is the actual thing that needs to be worked out here right now. It's not that you need to be in a position that's different. Um, you will be happy with this new thing in your life, but it's a case of like, do you really want to be the same version of you? Do you really want to be the same person as you are? Do you think that that person is happy in general? Do you think that you should keep following that version of yourself? Does it have the answers you were seeking? No. So it's uncomfortable. That is being acknowledged. It's not like any of that is mocked. I think like the way I'm even reading the point that I've had like such a like gleaming smile on my face and it felt quite pure. It kind of felt like a grandparent when they look at like their grandchild, right? And they're like, "Aw, bless you," like in the most unconditionally loving way possible, of like where they asked or wanted one thing and now they're upset about it, and it's like a whole big transition for the kid, right? And it's entertaining for the grandparent because they already get it, they understand it. And it's kind of like being a happy witness to something of like a child's growth and development and how their world is shaping. It's kind of like that. No one is mocking you or anything. It's understandable that this might be a bit of a hard shift, but it's not really as bad as it might seem. It's more of a case of like what you thought you believed and thought to be true was actually what was holding you back and neglecting you, and this new thing that's coming in might feel crazy and insane, but this is the way to go because this will be the thing that makes you transform towards the person you really want to be, that feels the way you want to feel, that actually takes care into things the way you want to be, investing into the compassion that is needed for self. Like all of those things are coming in, but it needs a new version of you that doesn't have the same expectations, worries, needs, desires, and all of the rest, because it's kind of like some of those things are real, like some of those things are very real, but a lot of those things are just imaginations of the trauma you've had, and they don't really serve you in going forward no more. They make you think the world's a lot more of a rougher place than it is. It's like we need to break that down. We need to build your heart up and remove the barriers in between of you and your soul. Like it's like you asked to be happy, right? This needs to be out as well. You asked to be happy, and now that you're getting it, I feel like there's some part of you that's kind of like, this isn't what I asked for. It's like you did ask for this. You just thought it was gonna be different because you were looking through the same egoic eyes of who you thought you were always gonna be and who you really are. But then it's like a lot of that was a misconception about you as well, and now you're being reborn. And this is a part of it. Like, it is a part of it. It's not here to scare you or curse you or make you live an authentic life where you have to self-sacrifice or be a martyr. I feel like the background emotion that's coming from the people that are being affected by this, right, is kind of like, I don't want to be a savior. I don't want to be a martyr. I don't want to be the person that fucking helps people out there. And it's not in an aggressive, mad way. It's more in a way of like, I'm done with that. It doesn't make me happy. I understand that that is not my path or place. Like, why am I getting this present gift, talent, spiritual awareness that's going to make me have to deal with more people's issues and problems? It's like you're not really gonna need to deal with the issues and the problems. What you're gonna need to do is be yourself, shine your light, and then that'll start doing stuff on its own. You don't need to get involved. You don't need to play in the mud. You just need to like be so positively set in who you are. You need to be in that energy, in that acceptance. And I think it's not a case of like you having to do something that's really the issue. The way it's coming across is like it's actually the reaction you would get from people that's kind of the scariest because like if you have to take away this misconception about who you are and how you've been and what your life's been around, right? How are other people are gonna handle it and deal with it? What's gonna happen to your life because of it? Like, I feel like you've had enough spiritual awakenings to know that, like, when you go through a really big one, shit just gets like thrown thrown all around, and mixed up and everything starts going through a transformation, a trial process where it's like, is it a part of your life? Or is it not a part of your life? Reversed. Yes, reversed. This is a really interesting, weird spread. Yeah, you think this is something painful, but it's actually not. It's something positive. It's something that's supposed to transform you and make you more passionate about your life and who you are. This is supposed to make you more caring, approachable, loving, sharing, and in a way where you're not concerned about your own well-being. Like you're so in the know, you're so in the flow, you're so cool with it that it's like you don't have anything to worry about or conceive. You already see it as it is. You already see it like the writing's on the wall for you, like people's heads are tattooed. Um, and what I mean by that, I feel like that got lost in translation. That's a saying here, and I think also in English, like when someone has something tattooed on their forehead, like you can read their shit right, like on their face, like you can pick up their true intentions, their true personality and character type. Like you just know, without having to really have it be shown to you. Like everything's out there, right? And so you can flow like in a more easy quiet, like easy peasy quiet space where it's just that you're unbothered, like you get it, you understand, you're flowing with it. And that is a new way of living. That's a whole new level of consciousness and the conscious awareness, right, that you'd be going through. Um, and it is beneficial. It's important. It will keep you afloat. There's nothing to be worried about that, right? If you start going towards the practical means of reality, that's when you're gonna start seeing like bullshit that's not gonna like that's gonna make your worries and fears valid. But if you keep showing your faith and understanding in these higher truths, it's coming across as like that's when the real magic is gonna kick in. That's when you're gonna see the reasoning and the point between like the good and the bad, right? And how they're all like the same thing. You'll see how life has meaning and purpose regardless of who you are and where you go. It will show you that you are protected no matter what. It'll show you a new way of like expressing yourself, being in your daily days and routines, and just finding value within that. So for you, it'll be a huge beneficial process. Like, are some people gonna maybe put you on a pedestal? Yeah. Do you gotta give in? No. You can keep like, reality on the real like reality check part of it. You can be blunt and honest and keep it real. You don't need to give in to these lower vibrational ideas, worries, and thoughts, but that's I think where your real work is cut out for you is like you already know a lot of this, but it's like you're so used to being caught in the middle of things that it's kind of like you gotta invest even more focus into nurturing your faith and emotions and like deeper feelings and the spirit self within you. Because I feel like yeah, I feel like you follow that side of you, but it also is a case of like it can't speak louder than your inhibitions and ego and worries and fear. Some of you might have had a drinking issue because of this. This is only for a few people because I just channeled that bit of information. But like, don't worry, your relationships aren't going to be destroyed. You're not going to need to go through a dark night of the soul. This is not another period in life where you're going to become a hermit. It's just a case of like you're gonna stop investing into things that are useless and fruitless and are a depiction of our society's norms and just like a cultural consideration that doesn't actually consider anyone and doesn't help anyone. Um, Let spirit take you by the hand, trust the process, and understand that like things are gonna pick up again once you're done with this. Like things are gonna get moving when you are okay with this, but until you're okay with this, it's really like you can't play in the next level. Like you can't enjoy it for what it should be or will give you or will feel like in all truth and reality and honesty, right? If you have this misconception about yourself and how life goes and how people are and whatever, like you can't live in that higher other state, world, reality, or knowing because it's like you're gonna keep holding yourself back by all of these tiny loops that you only really have within yourself, right? And if you are forward with your truth and how you live your life and that you're not bothered by all of this stuff and you know why and you have a core feeling understanding like you're in that vibe and frequency, it won't go away. And you can just fully immerse yourself in the new and shine that outwards, like change the matrix around you even, you know. I think that is everything. I am getting pulled to like have one or two cards drop out of this deck. My faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. I mean, yeah. Like you were born for this is what's coming across with that. You were born for this. This was always going to be the like place or position you're gonna grow towards. This was always like on part like a part of you, but also a part of your path. And it's not supposed to make it uncomfortable or bad. Like it should be fulfilling. And it's not like you need to force that feeling of fulfilling. That feeling of fulfilling will come as you give more faith and trust into yourself, into the world, into the universe, into all of these ancient truths that are being given to you because you can embody them the way that is needed on the planet currently. This is definitely nothing against you. This is for you. Like all of this is really for you. Like, this isn't gonna be bad. I think you have some reasons to feel like that, but like really if you go through all of these emotions that are making you feel like there's red flags and you're fucked and everything else, like you'll realize where it's coming from. There's been some people around you that have probably been super scared of spirituality as well, is what I'm noticing. Like maybe they besmirched like a lot of things, right? And you've taken it on of like there's good things and bad things in spirituality, which as concepts down here it's true and correct, but if you're working with like source and God and like real higher realms and real higher realm councils, like that doesn't really apply the same way or at all to some, but yeah. Whole different thing. I hope this has helped you. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. Let me know if you have anything to share down in the comment section. Thank you for the likes and subs and everything else. I really appreciate the support. And if you want to see more of my stuff, you can go down into the link tree in my description box, where I'll have every single type of my socials like linked there for you in one place for your convenience. So yeah, I hope you have a good one, and I'll leave you up here. Bye. Hello, pile number two. This is the card you have chosen, and it is Earth. Number 17. I also have to preface that this is the only pile that has a card upright, which is interesting. Okay. I don't know. Honestly, like when I was shuffling the cards and currently right now, all I'm getting is like a very earthy, grounded, and properly set energy. Like I just feel like this is the pile where people are I either like handling things really well or trying their best to handle things really well, and so your energy is pretty earth and grounded and non-chaotic. Like that's the energy I'm getting. Doesn't mean you're not going through problems. You some of you probably freaking all are, but in general, like the energy here is really good, which is kind of coming across as meaning you're on your path, you're grounded, you're rational, you're double checking yourself when you have to, you're staying firm in your decisions and your choices or matters or appearance when also you have to, right? Without double like double checking yourself or guessing or doubting yourself. So yeah. Uh, that's how it's feeling. You might be also very much connected to Earth at the moment, like Mother Earth Gaia. There might be some conversations you might be having with her. I feel like a lot of you are shamans and elemental types and, natural like remedists or people that are good with natural remedies. Maybe you just have a very naturally healing aura. Um, People that kind of have like the Taurus energy, but you don't necessarily need to have a Taurus in your chart. This is just like if you're a Taurus, maybe a bit more pertinent for you. I don't have no Earth in my chart, and people call me earthy. So honestly, like doesn't matter what you have in your chart. This is just like people that feel like a very balanced Taurus, a person that you can trust for being dependable and capable and sorting matters before or ahead of time instead of having things like running amok here and running amok there. This group is the people that really are there as they show up. They don't have no nonsense. They don't lie. They don't cheat. Yeah, you are kind of like that. And if you aren't, maybe you're working towards that, and this is a sign that you're going towards the right direction. Nothing is held against you, and you're not making a mistake, and you're not lost on the path. Like you are respected within your choice to become this person. If you are not yet, keep going. There is faith and trust in you. Keep your faith and trust in the divine as well as yourself, and you will receive what you're working towards. Um, but yeah. But most of the cards are even upright. Like, damn. Okay, so people in this pile have had to keep stuff tied down. You're the ones that had to keep stuff locked down. You're the ones that have had to go out of their ways in uncomfortable circumstances and situations to have your shit together. You're the one that's been putting in the right effort. Some of you have been seeing that other people respond really appropriately to this, and so you have like accepted that as part of like the reward because it makes you happy that like okay, maybe shit's flying across everywhere, but I can sort stuff out so well that other people transform through my opinions or the way I handle things or the way I speak to people in conflict and you know when I'm in diplomatic circumstances. And that kind of keeps you like a little bit more grounded and centered because it's like, oh, I can see like my shine affecting other people, you know, this is good. So keep also looking to what you are building and creating for yourself. Like keep appreciating and being compassionate towards yourself and towards what you are making for yourself and your home endeavors. To some, it may seem like a selfish thing, but actually, like some of you have a problem there that you need to keep focusing on as well. Like as much as you give to others, give to yourself as well. Don't forget that you are building something that's going to matter to your home life, to your ambitions, to your like reality, you know? Other people are other people. You are you. It's important to have that for both. Uh-huh. Uh, some of you are pushing yourself too much and need to chill, like, and it's coming across as something before you have a thing happen, like you're not there yet, but if you don't want to head to a breakdown or a problem, start taking care of yourself more. Stop pushing so much. Like you can take more time to take your like your own pace, not just to do everything in a secure and right way, you know? Like you can enjoy the process as well. Yeah, you're closing this out. This is gonna happen for you. Don't get distracted. Keep being in your freaking amazing, awesome energy. Just keep also looking after yourself is what's coming across. Okay, so now that we've spoken about the good things, I did say a few things of like, keep being mindful on some stuff, but also the oracle cards are talking to the shadow where it's like you need to put in some more love and light into your energy and your manifestations. So what one would be like to keep balance within your chakra system and energy points. It's very important for you to let loose and have fun regularly. Like make it a port 27:27 on my clock as I said that. So be sure to make a happy playtime schedule for you as well. Like put aside 1, 2 hours. Two feels like very important, like two. So put aside at least 2 hours each and every day that are just for you. You don't got to take care of anything. You don't got to do anything. You don't got to be anywhere. You don't got to plan nothing. You don't need to do stuff at all. Like nothing. Not in your head, not in your physical reality, not in your heart. You are just chilling and being and taking care of yourself. It is super important. Otherwise, you will not get the results you were asking for. You will get into a point where it's like you're breaking down and you don't know why, and you need to start taking care of yourself before you start living this new life. So don't burn out. This is actually coming across as more of a warning. Start taking care of your joy. Um, my happiness is a direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe, and I am the dreamer of my dream. So some of you are feeling disempowered, like you aren't getting what you were manifesting and you're not receiving what you've put in all of this effort and work for. Like you're happy about the positive things, but then you're like getting so worried that you aren't gonna get what you've always wanted so bad, like so bad. And the truth is, like, you are gonna get it, but once you get it, it's gonna be the beginning stages of it. It's gonna be nothing, basically, in the way where it's like it's a new beginning and it's a new stage in life, but like it's so bare bones raw. It's like a baby, it's an infant. You need to raise the baby, you need to look after the baby, you need to make other arrangements as well within the house for that baby to be happy while the baby is with you, right? While you are like living with the baby. Baby is metaphorical for whatever you're creating here. So if you're having actual kids, I don't know, this doesn't really apply to that. Um, but like you want to get this so bad that you're overlooking the other things that you need to because you're trying to prove yourself when you've already proven yourself to the universe. The universe doesn't actually have quarrels with you. It's how you yourself that like look at yourself through such a magnifying lens. At what point are you going to really actually say that you do deserve this and you will have it and you will get it? If you're right now saying a bunch of things of when I'm gonna be this and when I'm gonna do that and when I'm gonna be like this and then then you're conditioning yourself to be a certain person before you can receive anything. So you yourself are limiting yourself because you don't believe you are there yet, or you aren't that person, or whatever thing, X thing over here, right? So the universe isn't stopping you. It's not like doing anything. Maybe it's taking more time to let you like settle this internal personal quarrel of like, I have to be this so I can have happiness and joy. And that's not coming from God or the universe, that's coming from you. Why do you think you need to be different? Why do you think you need to be more? Why do you think you need to be overworked or like in this like energy all the time, right? Because like if you are pouring into yourself as much as you're being this, then yeah, you understand your value and you're living it and you're embodying it, and so you're ready to receive. But if you are like sitting here, right, being focusing on the checklist of like items and things that you gotta do, like checklist, right? You have those things coming back right away as soon as you check them off the box. So like there's always going to be more work to be done. There's always going to be responsibilities we got to take care of. There's always going to be more and more and more and more and more and more. But when will you actually take priority in enjoying your life and enjoying yourself and enjoying your presence and enjoying the people you love for yourself because you love them and you want to love them and you want to, keep on loving them. And that's a point of like life and connection and enjoyment for you. Or what if it's like a hobby where it's something that doesn't have any monetary value and maybe isn't even interesting to a lot of people? Building, like, let's say collecting pennies or building boats or arts and crafts or knitting or something, right? Who, like, when are you gonna let yourself do that? Because this is big, this is important, and you can get stuck in a place where you're just working for the result of this or maintaining this new creation, but then you aren't going to actually be living it, right? And like you've made this so you can be happy, so you can be living your life, so you can actually like be the person that has it in their hands, in their heart, right? So energy flows where my intention goes, and I surrender to a power greater than me. Energy flows is reverse, and surrender is upright. So yeah, I think you've already pushed enough energy and juices and like the power of creativity and creation and birthing. Like you've done enough. You then like now need to kind of chill and sit and let yourself transform it within yourself of like I guess you could see it if you any of you have been balancing your masculine and feminine. This is actually kind of relating to that you've pushed your masculine and disciplined yourself enough, but you've like undermined the feminine side of it that should have been like self-nurture, self-care, and personal joy, and when you're just not doing anything. Right. And I think that's a bit convoluted and difficult to grasp for us because in our society, like being a go-getter and doing things is self-explanatory and understandable why it's important. But when it comes to being burnt out or and taking self-care or taking time to pause or rest or saying like, no, I'm not gonna go to work that day because I actually am gonna just take a day off for myself. No vacation, no plans, just, I feel like I need to. Like all of those things of what is restful and regenerative is very unappreciated and undervalued, which is contributing to a lot of like issues and problems and stress and health problems, right? But for you, it's kind of more of a case of like, when are you going to take the time out to let yourself transform within yourself to the side of positivity that you are creating? When are you going to accept that like ray of sunshine that you bestow to other people? When are you going to redirect it to the person that matters in your life the most, really? And it is you. Like if you are less than anyone you love, that is a problem. I feel like that was a big mic drop for some people. Whew. Yeah, I feel like that was a lot of energy. You can do it, you're safe to do that. No one's gonna forsake you. And as long as you work with the belief and understand that it's not the universe that's gonna dish something out about it, it's you, right? And that you got to sit with yourself about this, like, why do you have it? Where do you have it from? Some of you have it as a past life thing, for sure. Like, some of you have carried something over from your past lives. You can check that out. And see what it is. If you can't, this might not be for you. Yeah, if you can, it feels like it's the right thing. And for others that feel like, no, I should, like this calls to me, but I can't do it. Like I don't know how to do past life regression. Leave it, ask the universe and God or angels or whatever you're connected to in terms of ATs and higher beings, like to help you with this, but don't push it and focus and strangle it. Like it will come to you when the time is right. This will be a big thing for you if you're not there yet. Yeah, that's all I'm getting. You guys have a good time. I am sending you love and appreciation. I feel like this was a biggie for some of y'all. It really hit a chord, and I'm wishing you like healing and peace with this because it's big when it's big, and I just want to share my appreciation towards you. Thank you for sharing your stories, likes, subs, and other stuff in the comments down below. If you want to see more of my content and other things I do, please go over to my link tree, which is also down below and has all of the links in one place for my Twitch, Instagram, and other goodness that I do. So thank you, and I'll see you next time or in the next pile. Bye. Hello, pile number three. If you chose the third pile, obviously, you're at the right place, but also this is the card you got. It is the Blade reversed. One of my more, I don't know, I like this card because it speaks so well to so many different things, honestly. Primarily, it's kind of a card to me of if I had the guidebook, I'd probably relate maybe differently to it. I don't know, maybe I wouldn't. Um, but I see it as a card of holding faith in higher knowledge and understanding and universal truth throughout even the darkest of times, throughout even like the shadow periods or the dark night of the soul, right? Like it's a card of having strength and power and willingness within that to gain clarity, to get through the mist, to get through the fog, to do what is maybe at some points said to be inconceivable, right? To make it through the tunnel out the other end and to live the new life that is kind of like beyond this card. So yeah, this being reversed is kind of talking to me that maybe some of y'all are avoiding a truth that is being bestowed or given to you. There is an issue of shadow work for sure. There might be an experience where you're lashing out or super shadowy currently to your loved ones specifically. and it is a thing you are shaming and guilting yourself over, where it's like you don't need to guilt or shame yourself. Like you don't need to attack yourself. You're being called to show yourself love and care in this transformation that you need to take on to yourself. Like this is where you learn to hold yourself even when you are in dark times or at your lowest, to know the value of real love and light and positivity and what that truly means to do and be, beyond the fabrications of like all love and light and positivity and all that. Like it's the true core reality of what it is or what it means to be good, to hold yourself, to be in balance with the yin and the yang. But in this case, the yin and the yang isn't masculine and feminine. The yin and the yang is like light and darkness. Accepting the point that you are a multidimensional being that has good sides and bad sides. Not all of it needs to be a unaligned truth, right? Like all of it can be a part of the aligned truth of you, where you are living your life in freedom and consideration, right? It doesn't need to be something that you deem yourself to be a demon or a devil over. Like, you don't need to antagonize yourself. You can accept it as a positive step or truth in the right direction, and that it is something that has its own ins and outs, that it has its own ups and downs, and that you are not to be blamed within that process. You are making your way, and that is, like the path of it. I guess sometimes like it is a case of like, how do you know that you're doing wrong, or that you might be misplacing some of your either judgments or actions or ambitions or emotions even, right? Without making a mistake, without honestly seeing like negative repercussions or consequences to your actions. It doesn't mean that you're fucked up or bad. It can mean that like this is where I need to like settle in more and be more accepting of myself, so I can then not lash out but be more compassionate in these circumstances, right? So I can be more patient, because ultimately it's not that you need to be patient with other people or to be this like high and mighty martyr. It's more that you need to be so compassionate and caring towards yourself, so you can be a prime example as well of like how to be happy in the difficult times or the circumstances where you want to lose your shit and give up. Like, how do you make it through that? How do you like stay a proper good human being? How do you not give in to the pain that has hurt you? And how do you keep going for the things that are right, while holding down boundaries, while being maybe the person that speaks truth, maybe being the person that says no a lot of the time, right? Because you don't accept or like people's ways of how they do things because there's something that maybe isn't aligned there, right? And just because like you speak out against it doesn't mean that you're wrong. If you have to put people in their place, that also doesn't make you wrong. That just makes you the person that puts people in their place. When you're learning the ins and outs, yeah, you can do mistakes and you can accidentally harm people, but like you can also take accountability, right? You don't need to run those loops of where toxicity runs rampant, or you just show bad face and everyone ignores it, and then that spirals out into some weird ass drama that doesn't need to be. Like, you can keep going as being who you truly are and accepting that journey, and seeing how it actually makes more of a positive case than a negative case. Like, people that get hurt still respond with acceptance and consideration, and can like really hold you by your truth then, right? Maybe you apologize, maybe you come clean, maybe you explain yourself, or maybe you just do better as soon as something like has happened. You don't need to sit in your self-loathing or hate or shit. Like, you can accept that this is a part of the good process that you have set out to be a part of, for yourself and others. There's no good answers in just being people pleasy or putting ourselves down because of this or that. It's all coming together in one way or another. It's weird. I heard like this is reverse, but I don't feel like it is reverse. So it's odd. because that's giving me a feeling or a notion of there being like contradiction in your own internal narrative. So like things are working out one way, but you're describing them a complete opposite way, and then it's hurting you at the end, is how it's coming across. It's like you aren't doing anything wrong. Um, you are antagonizing yourself. Like that's very clear, is like you don't want to be the person that you were. You're not. You don't want to do the same things. You're not. Yet again, start looking at where you're not and where you are at, like you're looking to better, bigger prospects. Like give yourself credit, accept yourself for who you are and where you're at, and that you're human and it's a part of it. Like you're not here to be perfect. No one asked you to be perfect. Everyone trusts and believes you and who you are, and they accept that, like, you are human, and that's like we as people and as well as the divine does this in even a higher power, but like we love for the good and for the bad. If you can't accept the negative, you aren't going to love like the positive either, then it's not going to be enough. But if you love the negative and the positive, then it becomes unconditional like love and flow, and you've done so much effort and so much work on yourself that you don't need to like put yourself down. Accept that this is the victory in your transformation, that you are getting to the part where like you thought you would never get to. You thought you were never going to change this for real, for good, forever, and but you are. It's just playing out in a different way, and like you're already transforming, you're already beginning a new thing. The point that you don't have all of the answers, the point that you have these things that you're learning about keep popping up and out of your like behavior or subconscious or emotional body, is a sign that like you've done so much to even get to this point, like really don't hold this against yourself, and it's okay if even if it happens again, which I know might be difficult in certain like scenarios, especially right here, right now, but like ultimately you are loved for your actions, for your ambitions, for your heart, and like the point that you have so much you've been through, you had like to clear and heal and accept about even just yourself and the world around you, right? And then the point that you're different to it, or you're gonna make your damnedest to change, is admirable. Like God sees you for who you are. You don't need other people to validate this. Like, but if you continue, like being compassionate to yourself and others, you're not gonna like feed the demon inside of you. You're gonna feed love inside of you. You're gonna like see that love coming back to you. You're gonna communicate to people in a more transparent way, and they will accept you for it. The people that aren't are probably a part of this like denser vibration, but I feel like you also have really good people around you. Like, you don't even have this. Like maybe there's things that are being worked out currently, but I feel like most of the people around you are on your side, or you are mostly spending your time with the people that are learning through the shadow, not through evil. They're learning through the shadow, through the like wounds, through the harm, through the whatever it is. And I'm like getting a real nice cool breeze into the room, which I haven't had for a few days. So I feel like there's gonna be something that rejuvenates you and like brings you back into believing in this. Like there's gonna be something that feeds your heart, feeds your soul, and reminds you what this was all about, and that you are in the right pool. Like you're in the right group. Top and bottom only. Yeah, it's gonna take some time to get your head on straight so you can feed like the things that really interest you in a free way where it's just like, fire, passion, like I'm onto it. I'm here for it. Like, let's go. Like that childish ambition as well. You are going to have it. It's just like you're building some things about how you perceive yourself and your identity within your life, and how I feel like you're a testament of a person that like is an example of like it doesn't matter where you've been and what you've done, you're always deserving of God's grace and love. Maybe some of you actually have become Christian because there's a little bit of a vibe there, like not maybe exactly Christian, but maybe people that are like holy, like we're very loving and caring, maybe that are like striving for actual like good suburban or family lives or good communities, like they believe in the higher truths that you like hear usually through religion, right? But this is like the real practice of it. This is like the real core truth of like what people are down here to be and do, which is just grow and be happy. Come together, be a family. It doesn't matter where you've been. Like it really, really doesn't matter. You've done enough. You've been where you've had to. It's done. It's over. You're not that person no more. Keep giving into the love and know that you deserve love. Keep practicing that. I think you're such a good giver, but you're still learning how to take. Like you're still learning how to be open to receive your own love and how to like accept that from others and that like everyone's on the same page. You have really good keen eyesight to see the darker individuals around you and like you know the difference. Like if you had one of those people and you in front of a mirror, you'd see how much you've changed. Like you've become someone else who you truly always were. Maybe it was just buried under like all of the pain and sorrow and childhood trauma. I can see a lot of you had really bad, difficult parents. Not bad, I'll take that back. Like very difficult parents. Um, it's been a painful journey, but like it is ending. You're just learning how deep your pain runs into you and how there's like constricted muscles around it. And it's like you've developed a way to keep walking with those constricted muscles that are keeping this stuff inside of you. But like as you learn and understand to let go of that way of being, right, you will have your muscles release and like those roots that aren't of you will start dissipating. Like maybe they'll try and find like somewhere to grip onto you, but like you're such a different person that it'll just evaporate. It'll start going away. It's just like you need to see those places and cracks and where your heart has been bleeding, where you've really been hurt and neglected and mistreated, to like accept that you didn't do anything wrong, like you've never been destined to be evil or bad, like you never were a bad guy. You were just a really, really traumatized, harmed child and kid that has now grown beyond it, and it like gives you this space and environment to be vulnerable with it, to really go into it. You're gonna be such a caring, beautiful, good example to other children that go through this as well. Like you will be, I feel like this is more of a masculine energy, as in like also I'm imagining men with this pile. So, but if you're a lady, if you're a woman, like apply this how it works for you. But I feel like, the graceful uncle that has been maybe a biker, right, or other things and is now an ex-member, not having any association or affiliation with the gang, making their life in their hometown, in their village, being like, I don't know, someone completely else, maybe making bikes, maybe helping and volunteering in the youth group center, maybe going to kindergartens to like read books for kids. Maybe even like having some type of program role in juvenile like delinquents, having a outsourced like support program or something like that. Like maybe just kids in general like feel better when you are in the neighborhood or you're around or that you're their neighbor because like they know that you are super like tough but also protective and caring, right? And you will go out there to like sort out those issues and to be that protector and to randomly show up wherever it is. Maybe you're just like, handling your own life and not doing any of those things, but like your presence itself like provides safety and security to people. Maybe you don't feel like that and don't see it because you don't give yourself credit. You still think that you're like way back in who you were and what you did and all of the crimes or difficulties or misplaced judgments you've done or the other stuff, right? But you're like so beyond it. You're an inspiration to your community. You're someone to be proud of. And it is taking control. It's just now you're on the other level. Like you're breaking through the ceiling, like the glass ceiling that's kept you where you were. Like you're really seeing the core truth of what it means to be loved, to love, to see your trauma, to see your wounds, to really go there, to be that emotional and to let it all out and become within yourself that other person. Now that you've lived your life this way, like how does it feel to actually feel free? Like it doesn't limit you anymore. It doesn't take from you, or it doesn't make you out to be the specific thing or person, you know? And you will do it. Like you're on the road there. It's just like stop doing as much. Let yourself go through this process. Like the example I have is like, when a person falls out of love for the very first time ever, and they've never fallen out of love ever before, right? And it's kind of like you need to give them that time to be brokenhearted, to be lost in it, to be just a wreck, really, right? And it's like you can't rush the process. You can't do anything except to be there for the person and like love on them and let them know that it's okay, it'll end, they'll get through it, like they'll get through it, and that there's still someone around them loving them, that there's still good things to happen to them. They still have their entire life in front of them. But like maybe it's important to be where they are and it's not being spoken down to or misjudged. It's more of a case of like it's okay to not be okay sometimes, and it's a part of the process as well in becoming like happy and becoming okay. You gotta like go through those difficulties and still live your life, still believe in the good, but maybe give yourself peace and like I don't know, like teenage girls crying out like for a couple of weeks if they've had a really bad breakup, right? Internalizing it to then like throw it away and like let it go. Um, almost like that, yeah. Take your own equivalent of whatever it is that you can use the example to help yourself here. Like, I can understand that this example that I've given right now isn't the best one. I'm trying to refocus my camera. If you're wondering why I'm waving my hands like crazy, it's because I'm trying to refocus the camera. So yeah, if you have your own example of it, maybe how tender and caring you need to be to a baby and a toddler that's like, having a tantrum and losing their crap, like that's a big thing for you, but the parents are still there for it, right? They go through it with the kid. Um, and the relief is on both sides when they stop, right? And even if they're impatient, even if this or that, they still hold their shit together because it's their child. Like they're growing, they're developing, they're learning how to process these difficult emotions and like mini hiccups and mini like feuds and stuff like that, right? And the parent might not be even freaking sleeping, but they're still doing it. Or yeah, the teenage whole thing like that like explained, or I don't know, something as like horrible as losing your kid when, you're in pregnancy and going through that loss with your friends, with your family, with yourself, right? Taking the pause to do that, caring for the body because it was such a traumatic thing for the body too, and it's now going through a whole depression, right, of a loss of a grieving. Um, and you need to do that care so you don't have like the pain following you, so it doesn't build up as tension and like break loose when you least expect it, so it doesn't cloud your judgment, so it doesn't make you be and believe that you are this person or this like character, right? It's so important to take that time out and to look to better things while that it's happening and to keep living our life the best we can. Because if we don't take the time out to care, it will become the truth of us. It will become our face. Um, that's just how like not resentment, but I guess resentment as well. But I wanted to say like repressed emotions work. There we go. Repressed pains, anger. That's how it works. It keeps going and creeping in. If you keep swatting it away, it keeps building up, and then eventually it pops. And you're ready for it to not pop. You're ready for it to go away. So you're a different person coming whole together and being there for like, who you care for. Especially yourself. You're ready for this. Like, God's on your side trying to help you relinquish this because you deserve it. You deserve it. The universe has no doubt, no question. It's just like, how are you gonna accept this? How are you gonna live this? How are you gonna stop running away from this so you can be that person? Yeah. Beautiful reading, a lot of emotions, a lot of emotions. Please be caring to your hearts. Please be compassionate. Please be loving. Speak only caring, nice words. Like you are in a vulnerable place for a reason, and it is so damn important for you and others that this goes well. And like, I guess I'm just sending out a little prayer here because I have tears like kind of welling up a little bit. And I know that that means like this is big for you people. So my prayers do go out for you so you get through this okay. And yeah, thank you for watching this. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. Thank you for, being like who you are and clicking on this video. Yeah. If you want to share your story, feel free to do that down below. Like or subscribe to keep showing your support so I keep coming back and doing this too. Because it's nice seeing interaction, it's nice seeing connection and growth of like the community. And if you want to see more of me, you can click on my link tree down below as well. This is where I leave this one off. Yet again, many good vibes to you. Honestly, like beautiful people in this pile. Keep being beautiful and, let yourself be saved as well. Be that energy for yourself too. So, yeah. Thank you very much. Peace. Hello, pile number 4. If you have have clicked on here on purpose, then this is the card. But there we go. That you have chosen, and it is fire. I mean, fire can speak to a lot of things. I am kind of getting. I'm just gonna be real on what I'm getting. I feel like this is the pile that's in trouble with spirit. Like, not in a bad way, but it's more of a case of like, this is the pile where there's actual like trouble happening of some sort. And this is gonna be interesting. Because you are also the pile that I am using like a completely different deck for, which is interesting. For those of you that got a little mini panic attack or something from me saying like in trouble with spirit, it's more like when a child gets in trouble with a parent. For the child, it's super terrifying. For the parent, sometimes it's a headache. Sometimes they can take it out of precaution, but let's say it is like in this case, the parent is spirit. They're not really too bothered besides of like you were going a certain way, you knew what you wanted, you said you were gonna do this thing, we let you go to that party, and then you didn't even do your homework and you've been flunking class for like the last 2 quarters or semesters or whatever it is, right? Not semesters. Semesters is and a half, right? And quarters like are the three quarters. I don't know. The two like halves of the study year, right? Out of three. The not to two halves, the two-thirds of the study year out of three, like you flunked the classes for that period of time. Very hard analogy, but I think you got the point. So it's kind of like the parent is upset in that aspect, not necessarily like to the degree that we sometimes are afraid of it. It is a case of like some of you, most of you actually, have misused your power and have taken it for granted in selfish and slightly abusive ways. Some of you actually were abusive without consideration of it. And so now you're getting pegged down a huge notch. So yeah, yeah. Some of you people are supposed to be in pile three, not four. Only some of you. There's only like a few, like four maybe people, because you think that you're worse than you actually are, and so you somehow like, and you did get a significant pull to go to pile three, but then you did something, checked again, or thought something, and then you're like, no, it's pile four. So if you had doubts and you went against some type of like energy or judgment and said, no, it's pile four. It's only for you guys. It's only for you people. Go back to pile number three. Because you were supposed to be in pile three, not in pile number four. Everyone else is definitely here. If you're trying to run away from, your judgment, some of y'all already clicked off. But you guys don't do that. Like if you want as honest of a message as you can get, this will be it, honestly. Like um, because it's like it's not a case of there's no going back from here. Let me just go wild. No, there is a going back from here. It's just what do you want to do? What do you want? What do you want to do? Top and bottom. Yeah, that's what I thought it was saying. Like, because of the top and bottom here, like, this is reversed, I'm hearing, right? Yeah. Oof, okay. Yeah, so things are completely wiped now. Like whatever you were planning on doing, that's not gonna happen no more. Everything's gone. There's no coming back from this. There's no coming back from this. But it's not like you can't have a happy life, I guess is how it's coming through. Like, if you find harmony and acceptance between yourself and your choices, and then the universe and who you need to become, so you can have a better experience going forward, right? That will you will be able to start working towards your manifestations anew. Like, it's not going to be the same stuff no more. That ship has sailed. There's no like you if you've been trying to get that back or to prove yourself somehow, stop. You've proven yourself enough. Um, you need to look at how amazingly lucky you've been and how like you were graced with some amazing ass energy. You were in such a place where you could have made anything happen, and yet you chose to go against not just your better judgment, but the better judgment of like what you have learned, what you've seen examples of, and then you just threw it away saying like, "Oh, this won't happen to me. I won't do this. I don't need to do any work. It's fine." And then you kind of fucked yourself over more so than anyone else. So that's just like the reality of the situation. It's not here to make you feel any worse. I don't feel like any of you really even have remorse for a lot of it. You're just mad and upset about not having your way, losing the people you liked, losing the resources you really needed to keep having fun. Most of you are just like upset that you aren't having your way. You don't have remorse. That's the actual issue here. Is like you don't care about the important things and you were given a lot. You were trusted. Now you're not. There was so much belief in your like capabilities and where you were going and that you were going to choose right that now it's like you've relinquished that. Like you've given it away. That's not a part of your reality anymore. That's not really going to change unless you change either now. Um, yeah, the things you thought were just up to the universe to make right and to give to you, right? Wasn't the universe's job. That wasn't God's job. No one owed you anything. Like, no one owed you a single thing for anything you did. You just thought you were entitled to it, and then you gave a bunch of reasons. Then you also probably blamed a lot of stuff and people and circumstances and luck and other things, and then you kind of got to this point where you're like, now I can't even do that, and I wonder why. And it's like, because you misplaced your power. Like, you took everything for granted. You lashed out at other people. You were making things the way you thought you had to instead of learning and growing and developing, right? And so your mistakes got so out of hand that now it is your life. Like it's your truth. You've created this situation. This is a whole new ball game. Um, and maybe some of you are taking this very negatively to heart, like someone's dragging you through the mud, but it's like you've ignored so much that this is as like open, honest, and real as spirit could be talking to you. No one owed you anything. You had to go through the process yourself to create it, to make it, to prove it to yourself, to become that person, to really embody that. But like you put everything onto a fantasy of like you being the shit, like the hot shit or whatever, like the star. And so like nothing can happen to the star because I'm the star. I deserve. I'm the one. It's like, everyone is though. Like everyone's a star down here. Everyone deserves beauty, love, and compassion and consideration. Everyone deserves attention. Everyone deserves peace and like appropriate affection and like all of it. You aren't an exception. You were never an exception. Just because you have more power doesn't mean that you're supposed to do what you think is right and what you want with it. No. You have more responsibility. You take that responsibility with accountability. You learn how to handle it. You learn how to live with it. You learn how to be that person that is going to do right by it, by that role, by that power, by that capacity of awareness, consciousness, or just ability, you know? Like it's not supposed to just be willy-nilly here and there and I don't care. Um, you are being seen. People are keeping track of who you are, what you're doing, and how that's affecting the world down here. No one's leaving it to ignorance. Maybe you were in this place and grew up with a bunch of people that showed you otherwise, where this is okay and it's all right and I can do whatever I want. And look, everything works out for them. Yeah, but they never actually had any of the real stuff you were cooking with, you were working with. And so they didn't actually had like they didn't have any rules to it. Like they were just blind chickens in a way, like learning their way through and then figuring out like, oh, if I peck here, it's gonna be a problem. If I don't peck here, it's gonna be fine. If I do this, like I can survive, but if I do that, I can really thrive. And like they're figuring it out because they've never had this conscious awareness. They didn't have this ability. They never had this role. They never had anything to do with any of this. So they play in different games in different places with different people, learning different lessons. You you had a responsibility. You were meant to show the way. You were meant to be a person that really embodies like the truth of it all And just because you had problems or difficulties or pain or people disrespecting you never gave you the right or the choice to, like, it gave you the choice, but it never gave you the right to just be dishing it out to other people and say, like, I'm the ruler, the ruthless ruler that'll do what I want because I can. Um, you were meant to learn about the pain you experienced and to transform it into a better light, into a better being, so then you can help people that have been through the same things as you have. But so far, from what I can see, that did not happen. And yeah, you're wondering if any of it is gonna change. So let's see what the cards say now. And I like I can understand that's like if you've been watching my readings, I think you've noticed that I have a different vibe and approach to every single reading that I do. And if it's me speaking about how I feel about whatever I'm receiving or thinking or whatever it is, or my suggestion, my recommendation, right? I will preface that. I will say like this is me speaking now or whatever. Or like you're gonna feel that it's like properly personal in the way I'm talking about it. Maybe I've related something right to myself or otherwise. And so then I share from myself. But most of the time I'm channeling spirit. I'm channeling energies. I'm speaking from like a heart of being open as a channel. So and the reason I'm explaining this is I think a few of you are just thinking like, oh, I'm just being judgmental here. And it's like, no, I'm not being judgmental. The thing that's happening currently right now is that spirit itself is trying to contact you through the way that everyone knows, like we do pay attention and relate. And that is when someone is so open, blunt or honest or real with what they've seen or the emotions that it has created, like the circumstance that it's created, and either right or wrong, right? That it's so piercing, like kind of like when a person in authority calls you out for the mistakes you've done, and so they have to be forward and blunt and real about it. Maybe sounds judgmental, but really it's more of a case of like they're so adamant about transparent communication, receiving truth from you so you don't lie, you don't try to get away from it, run away from it. And so they actually also share in the severity of the situation, right? Like if your manager underplays whatever you've done and then doesn't tell you your problems or how the company feels about you now that you've made this mistake, you don't know where you're at. You don't know what's happening with you or what to do in that concept and that relation. Like, how do you save your ass from being fired? How far along are you from being fired? Do you have two more strikes or do you not have any two more strikes? Should you keep like playing the game, manipulating and like lying, or should you come up honest and forefront and be real and just say like, hey, this is what happened. Like where does this leave me? Can I still change things? Can I improve? Can I show up? Like, and if you come from the honest position and place, the conversation freaking changes. And if you don't, then obviously you're gonna need to keep playing the game, hoping you win, without knowing the freaking scenario. There's no transparent communication, there's no truth about anything, no one cares, and it's just happening. Oh my lord, you got like probably the most shadowy cards in the freaking deck. Top and bottom here as well. Interesting how these are colorful and these are shadows. So, this is a card about shining light and being conscious and aware and expanding within hardship and difficulties. And it does not sound like you are having any of it because it's reversed. I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. And I witness the darkness and call upon the light. Thank you, universe, for please focus. Thank you. Thank sorry. I witness the dark and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. This is what's up, right? you have chosen a path of ego ignorance and just going with whatever flippity flops and happens and doesn't happen without taking accountability into your power actions or your perception, right? And what the true journey is here. You've been misguided, maybe by some people, but really this comes back to you and how you've guided yourself. How have you treated what you've had to do? How have you treated other people in this? That's the real thing that's really popping up is like you've treated other people in such a way that has really harmed them, and that can't be given as just a pass to people that have a certain level of trust in higher realms, in spiritual like places, you know. We've had enough of that on this planet, and that will never be allowed ever again. And just because like you were good once or you did this or that has never balanced the checks out because if you were doing it conditionally, it never actually like added up to anything anyway. It was conditional. And so also like if you did good things for other people, but then no one ever gave anything back to you, probably a good thing to look at. Like, where was the conditional treatment there? When you have treated other people with aggression, also look at that too. Like, and then start connecting to spirit about where you're at, what can still be done, what can you achieve, where is happiness for you going from here? Can you actually even come back from this? Some of you need to probably like you think that you need to argue and fight, but it's actually more of a legit discussion and debate on your right to having abilities and gifts this lifetime and practicing them. Most of you are not going to be given the right to practice your abilities no more. You have relinquished that right especially for this lifetime. I don't know about other lifetimes. That's a whole damn different video, but like most of you have relinquished your right. It's not that you won't be having weird experiences. Like if you're on this pile and whatever, like you're probably still gonna have some weird gnarly experiences, but the truth of the matter is like you will not be able to practice it in the same light, in the same level, in the same advanced energy no more. You will be kind of feeling like you're at the whims of the universe now. That's just the way it's gonna be. And this card is speaking to the truth and understanding of the universe of like, you really need to get on the same page. We have not forsaken you. We have not gone away. We still hear you and we still listen to you and we will still love you and protect you. But if you're going to continue this, don't expect your life to get better. If you are going to start transitioning and finding your light in some of these places where you've really only been dark and darkness has consumed you, if you will start shining out, there will be another conversation opening up to you with spirit that will start talking about possibilities of a new like ambition, direction, progression level of like just a happy human experience. But as it is currently right now, if you aren't gonna change something, like this is actually like this is gonna expand and get worse. When I focus on my light, my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. This is a power within all of us that never goes away. Just because you have gotten to this point doesn't mean that you can't get here, that this can't save you, you know. Love is the answer. Unconditional, real love, and learning about it is the answer. That has not gone away. How you see and look at things and how you live your life and how you like weigh your heart out, the conscious intention, the unconscious like loops that you go through, all of it still matters. And if you align to love, this can get better. If you don't align to love and you don't start stepping into it, you know, that's a different game. The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. I felt like I really wanted to ruin that whole sentence and butcher it. This card is just basically about like taking accountability and being real with yourself. Like inside of yourself, be real with how you view things, what you did, how you feel about it, why you did it, why you're not happy. And if you're going to change, where are you willing to change from, and why are you doing it, and where do you hope to get to with it? If you're so selfish still that you can't give a damn, right? And it's like, I'm doing this just so I can feel a little better in my life and not like lost and worthless, that's good. That's okay. Maybe just add afterwards, like, and this is my recommendation now. Maybe just add after it, like, I also want to share or sh shine, vibrate, like, have the vibe and aura of like not making people go dark. Like, I want to have a energy about me that isn't gonna wreck people around me, that's not going to introduce disharmony and dissonance. I like, if I am going to be selfish and like make it right, like somehow accept all of this and move forward with it and still work with light and love, like maybe I won't be able to provide that to other people. Like maybe after you take account and be real and honest with yourself, like you'll understand to what limit and capacity you can be there for people and other stuff like that. But then with that, you can still be a benevolent force, a good-willed force where it's like, I'm gonna still try and not harm people. Maybe I'm gonna be like this, right? But like that doesn't need to harm other people. That's a huge good start right away. Like, live and let live is going to be the answer here, is what it's coming through as, really. It's not going to be about you really evening out anything. Like, that's gone. That opportunity is gone. But if you can be honest with yourself, live through your life, and now also accept that, like, you can't, if you want to better your own life for yourself and your own even just selfish means, which is fine, that's okay, that's not bad, that's good. But like, the other side of it is not harming your environment no more, not harming the world, not harming yourself in that journey and going forward, so you can become happy, so you can live a life that's going to add up to something that's still going to bring you joy, because obviously everything else is wiped and it's gone. It's like you need to make peace with that. um, but you can come back into a place where you're not spreading this, neither to yourself or to the ones you love. You can learn from this, like you can still grow from this. And I feel like Spirit still is upset and gonna have your eyes on it. Oh my God, my ear. Yeah, they want me to channel this because I'm kind of being like, I don't want to spread this, but this is significant. This is important. You're gonna be under surveillance. You're gonna be kept in check quite a lot. You will be informed if you're acting out, if something's not right or whatever. You will be also still protected, but you will not be stopped from digging your own freaking holes for yourself, getting into your own corners, from making these mistakes even worse, or from siphoning out and freaking creating this as a huge, all-consuming, dense shadow of clouds and mist around you. You will not be stopped from that. If that will be your choice, they will let you go and do your thing. You have less protection, the point that they will not try and stop you from your decisions. Um, you have less protection, the point that they will not be there to talk you out of bad decisions. You need to do that for yourself now. And they will not really show you signs if you're ignoring red flags of your own or other people, because they will be in necessary environments of learning, and they will just let it play out. Like, you are not gonna have the pleasant, like, what do you call it? Pleasant, like, easy write-offs no more. You are scrupulously under a freaking lens, and Spirit wants you to know that. We haven't, like, the way that is coming through is like, we haven't left you. We just don't want to have anything to do with your blame game mistakes because it's like, to what extent do you shine and show love and ignore the problem and hope for it to get better, right? Like, you have free will. You create through that free will. You are your creator. You are your manifester. This isn't about spirit being love and light and right. It's about spirit doing its job, which spirit is gonna step in the way it needs to. So you've been warned, but you also have been told the truth that they still love and care for you. It's just like you've chosen a whole different way of being and a life that is not what not like what you thought it was gonna be. And you can still have fun, is what is coming across. If you improve somehow and start taking things into account, yeah, you can still be happy. But I think that is enough of that. I feel like this group is still gonna occasionally have messages from me. Not often, but we'll see. I am wishing you the very best in opportunities, luck, and judgment. I hope you take matters into your own hands and actually um, risk a change. Like, this isn't easy. I wish for you to find the light and the light for the light to find you, and it will be okay. It will be okay. Sometimes things don't go as we plan. Uh, you want to share your story or show any support? Go down to the comment section, the likes and the subscribes and all of the thingy boggles. And if not, that's cool too. It's all right, whatever. You can also check out more of me in my link tree if you are interested in streams, variety streams, video games, YouTubes, and Instagrams, and Etsy if you want to work with me personally. But other than that, I'll let you off here and have a beautiful time. Peace.